Welcome to Diwali celebrations at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum, TIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution.
Thank you.
Theme is Mentoring Growth with Sandesh Rane on Startups, MSMEs, and Sustainable Leadership. The series is The Emerging Professional. In the ever evolving world of business, some leaders don't just chase success, they create it for others. With over 38 years of corporate leadership and consulting experience, Sandesh has embarked on an inspiring second career, one rooted in mentorship, sustainability, and purposeful engagement. As a senior business mentor and strategy consultant at Sanshu Consultants, he works closely with startups, MSMEs, NGOs, helping them design growth strategies, implement change, and build resilience for the future. We explore his journey from empowering young businesses and social organizations and how passion and purpose can shape an impactful professional legacy. And we also come to know Sandesh as a person. So, welcome, Sandesh ji.
Thank you, Veer.
So let me explain it. There will be three rounds: professional journey, personal journey, and a surprise rapid fire round where you'll be in the hot seat, sir. And we
Sure.
have inspiration AI in the workforce.
Yes.
Begin. Friend of mine, Amir Virani, host at Coffee and Legal Tech Evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. So my first question, Sandesh, you call this phase your second career. How different is it from your first phase, your corporate journey?
Oh, it's absolutely different because I'm not in the race for anything now in second career. I have no personal, benefits to look after, and I'm not in the race. Basically, this second career is as I divide my life into three parts. First part is when you when you are born up to 25, you generally, learn a lot of things, take education and things like that. 25 to 60 is a part where you earn for your life, your family, and your retirement and everything. And now I am beyond that. I'm in a third phase of my life. So where I'm also having a small career, but it's the purpose is not money at all. The purpose is for society. Now, when I talk about society, I start with family, then society, and then nation. Because that is where this experience of 38 years that I have in corporate life as well as personal life comes into use. So basically, I identified three areas to work for. One is basically where the inputs are required. One is at an individual level, the Indians who have to, a lot of Indians need a lot of inputs. So I work at an individual level. Then second, I work at smaller businesses, MSMEs level. And third is India being the third largest ecosystem, and we are shortly will be becoming the largest startup ecosystem. There are a lot of inputs which are required for entrepreneurs who are starting new, and you will be amazed to know the age of certain entrepreneurs which are even 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, those kind of ages. And where if an experience of 38 years also gets added to them, it does help them in planning their startups. So this is very, very different journey than my first career. And I would say my ultimate goal for which my second career is for Viksit Bharat.
Perfect. So let's build up a conversation, Sandesh. You emphasize implementation over just advice. How do you ensure your clients move from planning to measurable impact?
See, when I talk about MSMEs or startups, or even individuals who come for mentoring to me, it's the hand holding which I feel is much more important than just an advice. So it's a longer term association in terms of that. At the same time, when I try to give my inputs to MSMEs or startups, my intention is not to hang on with them for a longer period of time. So my intention is to build some kind of leadership traits which are, I mean, it's kind of a quick learning for the new youngsters who are getting into it. So my intention is to give them inputs and build leadership in them so that they can start taking responsibilities in their respective organizations more. So handholding initially for some time and then building leaderships to carry that forward is the approach that I do basically.
Wow. So, Sandesh, how do you balance growth strategies with sustainability, especially related to MSMEs?
Growth strategies and sustainability. So basically, what happens today, knowledge is not, scarce. IQ is actually democratized with AI. What we need for sustainability is EQ, that is emotional quotient, and AQ, which is adaptability quotient. Now, these are softer part of intelligence that we try to build in the people. Emotional quotient, so that the onslaught of AI is handled properly, used properly. The teamwork is not disturbed because of AI, rather it is enhanced because of AI, so that the common goals in the organizations, get built faster. And adaptability is, the world is changing terribly fast. So adaptability of an organization or an individual becomes very, very important. So I try to build these two qualities in individuals as well as in the organizational culture so that sustainability is taken care along with the growth.
Wow, beautiful. So, Sandesh, what common challenges do you see in young business owners today? Is it strategy, execution, or mindset?
I didn't get your question.
What challenges do you see in young business owners today?
Yeah.
Is it strategy, execution, or mindset?
So basically, what I challenge that I see are in terms of invisible fences. These youngsters, they start with a lot of enthusiasm, but if there is a small hurdle which comes in between, they start seeing a lot of fences. So they restrict themselves in taking risk. See, today, taking risk is actually the ability to take risk is reducing. If you see that, that's my observation in smaller organizations. At least bigger organizations has bigger capacity to take risk, but in very small organizations, those I work with, there is a very difficulty in taking risk. So what happens, they build the invisible fences around them and get stuck somewhere. So that is the biggest challenge. Rather than, they know technology very well, they have strategy, they have execution capabilities, mindset, everything. But those invisible fences which works around them restricts them from moving forward. Now my job is only to remove those invisible fences so that then they have all the capacity to move forward.
Wow. So, Sandesh, how is the experience of working in the corporate world for over a long period now helping you in your second career of consultation?
See, the working in a bigger organization gives you a wider spectrum of thought process. It also gives you 360-degree view of opportunities and challenges. And it teaches you how to handle both opportunities and challenges. Now, when you work with smaller organizations, they have no capacity to hire people like us, because they have a limitation in terms of hiring people at a higher salaries and things like that. So people like us come in and they bring that view of a bigger organization, because ultimately at some point in time, these startups are to become a bigger organization at some stage. So we build that, you know, intelligence in them so that they are able to. So I definitely my experience in corporate world becomes very useful while dealing with these smaller organizations. But at the same time, let me also tell you there are a lot of limitations that I face when you are working with smaller organizations. But then that is where the biggest opportunity exists for me, that within those limitations in a smaller organizations, how I am able to sort of, take them out of some of the challenges that they face basically.
Wow. So when working with NGOs, Sandesh, how do
Yeah.
you align business frameworks with social impact goals?
See, I look at NGOs not differently than the organizations. The only difference that I find between an NGO and a corporate is EBITDA margins and profits gets replaced by how many people you are benefiting and what are the social impacts. The rest all, strategy, processes, everything needs to be corporatized. So whenever I get attached to any NGO as a mentor, and since I myself have also worked in an NGO, I worked with Shankara Eye Care Institutions, which is an eye care, one of the biggest eye care social organizations in the country. That experience comes very handy to me when I'm working with NGOs. We try to bring in a lot of corporatized processes and strategies into it. But only thing is the profits and EBITDA margins are replaced by social goals, basically.
Beautiful. Okay. So could you share a success story where your mentorship transformed a business's trajectory?
Oh, yes, certainly. I will just share a couple of stories in brief because those stories are really big, but I'll just touch upon those stories. One freight forwarder approached me for mentoring and consulting assignments, and he was simple freight forwarder with a couple of employees, and he had worked in the logistics industry before, and he was getting assignments. He had couple of computers, and that's all. He know the process of freight forwarding and things like that. So he told me, sir, I want to transform this particular organization into a full logistic providing company. So this was a challenge given to me, and I have to start with building his team first. First of all, I have to put up an organization structure which is required, then various verticals which will come into a full-fledged logistic companies. Then he needed quite a few collaborations between, ports and various kinds of service providers for a logistics company to come in. Then obviously finances for certain fleet that he had to hire for emergencies. Normally, these fleets are also being hired from a vendor, but you have to keep some fleet of yours for emergency purpose. If somebody doesn't deliver on time, you cannot just stop because the ship is already booked and things like that. So holistically, I helped him for almost 2.5 to 3 years, and we have put up a structure in place to build that freight forwarder into a logistic company. So that was a good experience of building the organization. In fact, I have got similar kind of assignments also. For example, another assignment that I got was from a licensing architect. He was simply and purely taking licensing jobs with MADA, to tell you specifically. Now, when I joined them, I said, let's go beyond being a licensing architect. So I took him into redevelopment consultants, and from redevelopment consultants, we went into a kind of a land development company. So in land development company, he was helping certain landowners to come out of legal tangles that those certain lands were having. also the potential analysis of a particular land, or even a service where he was also a broker, where he will identify a land and identify the scope for that land, and convince a investor sitting with some 500,000 crores to invest there, and then develop that land into either a commercial or an industrial, or in fact 2 3 logistics projects also we did, warehousing projects, where he completely became a consultant for building those assets for his clients. So that was also another example, simply converting a licensing architect to a full-fledged land development company. It was a huge growth for him. I was with him for almost 5 years. So that was another example. Third example, which I would like to give here, is about a fragrance company. There was a young girl who did her PhD in fragrance, and her classmate, one of her classmate, was a Frenchman. So he had certain contacts in France, and France being the capital of this, so they collaborated together. She had put up a small laboratory in Thane, where I stay. So she had started making fragrances, both of them in collaboration, and they were selling those fragrances to small shops, they where the fragrances are sold. So what she wanted me to do is to build a B2B business for her, because these B2C businesses were a low value business, and it was a lot of effort and lot of problem in terms of getting the money back from the channels. So I did, first of all, put up a sales team, B2B sales team for her. And then we did a mapping of certain areas where fragrances are required, right from shampoos to soaps to even food industry, all kinds of industry mapping that we did. And we did started marketing those through that B2B team. When I left her, we had couple of clients who had started giving initial orders to this fragrance company. So there are like this, there are a lot of examples that where I worked in last 10 years as a consultant and mentor.
Wow. So, Sandesh, many leaders struggle with succession planning,
Yeah.
especially in the MSME sector. What's your philosophy on building leadership continuity for such organizations?
In fact, there is a typical problem that I have seen in entrepreneurs who are running certain kind of a business, and next generation is trying to come in. This most of the times, 80% of the kids don't want to do for this business. I mean, that was one of the biggest challenge. So whenever such an entrepreneur, I have not done many, but I have done couple of cases where I had an opportunity for doing this. When he approached me, ki my son or my daughter is not interested in my business. I have developed this from scratch to 200 crore company and things like that. And now how can I leave it to some third party and all? So, such cases when I came, I had to work with both the father and a child. And basically, I had to make father change a bit. I had to make child change a bit. I have to make father understand that the child is coming from a new age, so he needs to modernize his business. Anyway, if he modernizes his business, he puts automation into his plants, or he does some electronic into his offices, and AI and all those tools he brings into his business, the efficiencies in his business would improve, the profitability would improve. But there was no mindset for these guys, because they were doing business for 40 50 years without these tools, and they said I had a growth. And what happens with this, generally these smaller fellows, when they get some 15% growth, they are in cloud 9. But if the opportunity is to grow, let's say 100% a year, and if you are growing at 15% a year, then they are actually losing the opportunity. So when the son comes, I have to even bring up the ambition of the father, that now 15% is no more valid. your son has joined, so you guys should grow at least 30, 40%, 50% per annum. So all those mental changes I have to make within the next generation and the first generation, handle them for a period of time so that, they align with each other to take the business forward.
Beautiful. So my last question for your professional journey around, Sandesh.
Yeah.
What advice will you give professionals looking to pivot into meaningful second career like yours?
Oh, first of all, they should have a larger goal. Like, I know I'm not a Mahatma Gandhi where I can move masses, but if I can move few people, few hundreds or few thousands also, I have made my contribution to Vikasit Bharat in 2047, which I'll not be there to see. In all probabilities, I'll not be there to see that. So you should have a larger goal if you want to get into a second career. And more importantly, in second career, you should not be looking at what you are getting. You should be looking at what you are giving, because that's where people will start valuing you. If you are again, after what you are getting, and if you get only, then only you will give. If you have that kind of a mindset, second career won't happen at all. And look at the impact part of it rather than money part of it, and enjoy the journey of others' success. Because if you are enjoying the journey of others' success, I think that cannot be counted in the money that you get in otherwise commercial operations.
Wow, beautiful. So let's go to next round and understand Sandesh as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
Oh, I'm from a humble middle class family. The family consists of my mother, who is a super senior citizen. My wife, she is always a homemaker. And I have one son who is basically also an engineer and an MBA like me. And he is a category manager right now in a multinational company called Samsonite. And he's handling the biggest brand called American Tourister in Samsonite. And my daughter-in-law is an architect. She is a practicing architect and an urban planner, working with an American company with remote working. So that's my family right now. Then, yeah.
So Sandesh, who is your biggest cheerleader in this new chapter of life?
Oh, certainly Nelson Mandela. There
Mhm.
cannot be another person one can think of who has a lifelong giving. He gave his life for his people without expecting anything from them, and he was absolutely a role model in giving. And let me tell you, वो ऐसे बोलते हैं ना कि प्यार में भी अगर आप दे रहे हो तो आपको ज्यादा मिलता है, अगर सब एक्सपेक्ट ही कर रहे हो तो प्रॉब्लम आता है। तो वैसे ही है, नेल्सन मंडेला हैज बीन द माय चीयर लीडर एंड माय रोल मॉडल रादर, because he is the highest guy who has given his life for his people. So upliftment of downtrodden people, that's what I also want. Today, wherever I'm needed, wherever there is a need for guidance, mentorship, whether it is individual or a small company or an NGO or any of such place, where people are not ready to go because there are no commercial advantages in going to them. So I have no commercial, I don't want any commercial advantage. So I'm the guy who is going there and trying to work.
Beautiful. So Sandesh, what's your favorite way to unwind after a long day of mentoring?
Oh, certainly music. I watch a lot of music programs also. Just about couple of days back, there was a program by a singer called Arya Ambekar. So we went for that program, Marathi singer basically. And tomorrow evening, we are going for a ghazal program at Gadkari Rangayatan, which is in Thane. So I keep on watching a lot of music. Then going into the nature. I just love going into the greens, and that relaxes me a bit, right from, away from the city life. That also is, chilling there with greens is something which I like a lot. I watch Marathi dramas or Sangeet programs and all those kinds of things. And I also watch movies. So those are my ways of I've got a beautiful Sony big screen home theater. So just and all subscriptions like Netflix and Geo and whatnot. So I watch movies.
Wow. So if your friends had to describe you in three words, what would they say?
Pardon?
If your friends had to describe you in three words, what would they
Ah,
say?
friends.
Yeah.
Oh, they will. Okay, we did one exercise I want to tell you. In one of the leadership programs, we were told that you are no more, and your friend is standing beside your mortals. What they should speak? He should speak about you. So some one paragraph we were asked to write, and then we said, now you summarize this paragraph into one sentence. What should come on your where you are being this thing. So I will say, if I have to say in three words, I will say people should describe me as a person for others. I mean, I want to be for others. I have lived for myself enough. Now, whatever number of years that I have henceforth, I want to be for all those who need me, all those who believe in me.
Wow. So is there a book that has stayed with you throughout your professional and personal journey?
Yeah. Pardon?
Is there a book which has stayed with you throughout your professional personal journey till now?
Be humble in success.
Book about its question is about book which has stayed
Book.
with you.
Oh, book. Okay, okay. I will tell you. Basically, it was related to attitude and altitude. There is a book called Attitude and Altitude by Pat Mesiti. So if
Mhm.
you take care of attitude, your altitude is taken care automatically. You don't have to run after altitude. Just take care of your attitudes. Start giving a lot of credit to others, even if it is done by you. And you see, I mean, the growth is absolutely on your side. So that is the
Wow,
book which stayed with me, basically.
beautiful. So what's one value or tradition from your family that you carry into your professional life?
My family has taught me a very simple sentence. Everybody knows that: be humble in success and be strong in challenges. That's all. So that is what I
Beautiful.
learned from my family. My father was like that, and my child. I mean, I also try to pass it on, this particular thought, to my child.
Beautiful. So what legacy would you like to leave behind?
I want to leave behind a legacy where Indians work for Indians. विकसित भारत ऐसे ही नहीं होने वाला है. India has lot of people who need help. So I want to spread this message to as many as I can. Because whenever I'm mentoring somebody, I tell them, बॉस आपको फायदा हुआ क्या? बोलता है, हाँ सर, आपने ये किया वो किया, मेरे को ये फायदा हुआ वो फायदा हुआ. बोला, एटलीस्ट आपको 10 जन को वो फायदा कराना है यार. तभी जाके ये 140 करोड़, कल जाके 150 करोड़ पीपल, वॉट एवर विल हैपन, दे विल बिकम विकसित. अनलेस दिस 150 करोड़ पीपल आर विकसित, विकसित भारत तो होने वाला नहीं है.
Beautiful. So what message would you like to give to our viewers out there since we're celebrating Diwali?
Pardon?
What message would you like to give to our viewers out there for Diwali, which is being celebrated?
I would like to say something like, you just enjoy your journey, take a break in between, make your passions also be pursued along with your work, and you do achieve things for yourself, but also uplift others along with you. You will enjoy your journey much more than your own success.
Beautiful. So my last one is a googly one. Describe Sandesh in one line.
Oh my God. Simple man who wants to contribute always in a meaningful way to individual, family, society, corporates, social enterprises, and last but not the least, my nation.
Beautiful. So let's put in a hot seat, the rapid fire round, your go-to comfort food.
My go-to
Comfort food.
comfort food, Maharashtrian
Yeah.
food. Maharashtrian food.
Wow. Your favorite color?
My favorite color is green.
You're an early bird or a night owl?
No, I'm an early bird.
Strategy or execution?
Both.
One word that defines your second career.
Giving.
Uh, your favorite Maharashtrian cuisine?
Favorite Maharashtrian
Maharashtrian food dish.
food dish. Puran poli.
Tea or coffee to recharge?
Pardon?
Tea or coffee?
Coffee always.
You're the coffee show. Let's restore.
Thank you.
Here's a book. It shall be sent to you.
Yeah.
So, from driving corporate growth to nurturing enterprises that aspire to make a difference, Sandesh's journey is proof that careers don't just end, they evolve into legacies. His story reflects how purpose, mentorship, and strategic clarity can redefine not just organization but also the life of people behind them. We celebrate his transition into a career of impact, reminding us all that the most meaningful work often begins when you decide to give back. So, like that, there are 500 plus coffee speakers who have shared their professional, personal journey insights. Subscribe, implement in your lives, and see the change. And we continue conversations with another speaker tomorrow. So, happy Diwali to all our viewers out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amir. Thank you for this opportunity and a nice conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.